You tell me when we are.
I think we are live now. Well, or I've pressed the button to go live now.
Positive thing.
Yeah.
We are live. I can confirm our liveness.
Our live ability.
Our live ability.
Yeah, I'm going to start with an amazing one tonight that we've got some personal experience, and I'll just turn that off just a second. Quite an unusual one, but a very interesting one, and one that we've got some experience of, and maybe some non-experience of on the show. But just before I do, we've got to formalise this mother fluff and let everybody know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix. 101 on a very frustrating weekend. Incredibly, one of the most frustrating weekends of my arm wrestling life, let me tell you now.
Isn't that a good example of what we want Devon and Levon to look like? Wouldn't that be so fulfilling?
It was just a goddamn shame, and we're going to give that time tonight. Remember, guys, Fix brought to you by armwrestlingforums.com and the greatest beef jerky in the world, Western Survivor, mother fluffers. If you're not eating this, the fuck is wrong with you? You the guys that make these micro-fouling rules, you So, hey, before we get into all that, right? Sabine Badalescu's handle. Who's got one?
I got one. I have one.
Have you used that thing yet?
Not yet.
Daily.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you really like it?
Dude.
Have you got one?
It is amazing. You can max on it. And I mean, you know, like when your ass bleeds, when you're like, when you go to a silly place where you nearly black out when you come off it.
Like
you rev up so hard and you let go and the room spins and that, and you may have had an aneurysm. I mean, unbelievable max out.
Neil, you better be careful. You'll end up with some amazingly conditioned. What do you call that one? What do you call it? The owl?
Oh, here we go. The owl, mate.
It's
Listen,
the owl.
here we go.
Tell you, the owl.
5 minutes.
Oh, there it is. Look.
Yeah, less than 5 minutes. 4 minutes, and Ryan's hit the connective tissue position.
Devon's.
He spends more time talking about connective tissue. He's the only guy that knows more about connective tissue than the fucking Andrex puppy. Absolutely unbelievable. But mate, Devon, have you not strapped that thing down yet and given it some pasty?
He's
getting me all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, the bean slime out. Joking aside, right? I can tell you this. I got it the other day, and Sabine sent a message over. He said, I'm going to send you this handle. See what you think. So I was pretty open-minded about it. Obviously, we'd had some conversation with Ryan about the old quadratic fist, and I'd seen Bozhidar Simeonov using it. Spoke to him about it a little bit. I can tell you, I did the first proper session on it the other day. Jesus Christ. It's unbelievably, it's the most brutal piece of equipment. It is evil absolute. I've never trained on anything that brutal in my life.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It's ridiculous.
I don't do anything. It's replaced everything. It's replaced everything but people for me. All gym equipment, really? I've just been on that.
Mate, you can max on. If you get a good solid hand grip on that, load it through your lat and then try to go sideways. It will.
I like it. I know this has turned into a massive ad for Saban, and he'll love it. But I love it for its center table craziness, like the small little bullshit things. The first 5 millimeters. I'm
gonna have to try it now. I've just had it sitting on my shelf. I've been scared of it. I thought it.
Well, actually, it's one of those things that it genuinely. When I say you can max on it, it's interesting that Ryan said there. I love it for its center table thing. I'm kind of forced to love it for its center table thing because I can only move the damn thing. Seriously, at flat out max. I mean, I ain't been arm wrestling for 5 years, but at flat out max, I can move that thing maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches max, like that.
How long
you've got
go with it?
The latest version. You got the latest version, the heavy version.
I've got the latest version, but I don't believe it's the heaviest. I think he does one that's like, Levan proof. It's something ridiculous. Yep. But the one I've got at absolute max, I can load it down good. Just put back pressure into it, hold down. I don't load, so it's not my thing. But the down pressure and then try to go to the side. Christ on a bike. The insertion points at your elbow you feel. And I'm talking, right across that spectrum. Your wrist, the insertion points on your wrist. Oh my God. If there's a weakness, that fucking thing will find it. And does. And it collapses your brain. It's bad. I don't know what else
easier one. Sounds really hard.
Brutal as buggery. Maybe it's easier for you because you're taller and you'll have a better angle on it. But for me,
I thought it was all supposed to feel good, Devon. It's all
that's why it's not. You're not really selling me.
Yeah, this doesn't.
No, it's so good. It's so bad that it becomes so good because you can flare your elbow up on it so quick, but you can dial it back and just you can just flirt with flaring your elbow, and you can take your elbow to a level that you just can't get it with a cable and a pulley. It just, nothing feels the same as it. I love it. I love it.
I didn't flirt with anything. I went in there, got hold of that thing and thought, holy shit, that's really hard. I rang Levan when I rang Sabine the other day when I was on it, and I said, and he said about the Levan one, he said, there's another one that Levan couldn't max on. It's unbelievable. And I can't fathom how that one would be. That would be ridiculous because the frigging thing I've got, I've never felt anything as brutal in my life.
I can't believe we've spoken for 15 minutes or whatever it is about Sabin's handle.
I can't believe Devon's had it on the shelf and not tried that thing. You need to, but don't try it before the match though, because
I still have a long time. I got a long time.
You got to do it then. I just bolted mine down and thought I'm going to go at this balls out and see what can I do.
Okay.
And I hammered it and I could move it, like I say, maybe 1.5 inches. It was ridiculously hard.
But listen, I do have to go. I only have probably 5 or 10 minutes here. So if I can rant for a moment.
Yes, let's go.
The floor.
Yeah. Okay. So what everybody's talking about is rules. And I think that's great because it means that more people are starting to wrap their minds around the rules. I mean, for guys who are serious, I feel like, I don't know, I certainly feel, but apparently I'm more of a smaller group than I even thought who actually really cares about rules. Like, rules are of massive importance to every single match. Massive importance. Like, looking back in arm wrestling history, when you go back to the turn of the centuries, back in the 1900s, they used to break matches down into, you will start 18 centimeters apart. You will start 20 centimeters apart. They used to cover all sorts of things that we don't even talk about today. Rules are of massive importance. The whole strap, running foul, ref's grip, set grip, how many fouls. It's good that it's coming out into the open. And there's people who are on one side, there's people who are another, who's right, who's wrong, who really knows. This is what I would say we need to guide ourselves by as, the community. What we need to see, what we need to look at is what rule system has worked. What rule system has got us the most revenue? What rule set has lent itself to, and I'm not talking about athletes, because certain athletes will stand out consistently. What leagues have produced incredible matches? And if there starts to be statistics that can prove if there's a difference, then we need to look closely at that. I struggle to believe that the best part of our sport is not the action between the athletes. When I see foul outs, it is hard for me to believe that this is not the worst part of our sport. I'll say something else. Something that's really pissed me off is contracts. I've been so pissed, and I've been pissed at people I never want to be pissed at. I'll tell you, there's some people who are lying, and it's not me. When you sign a contract Okay, there's been a lot of debates on what's in the contract, what's in 2.2. I know what's been in my 2.2 every single time. It appears that there's been some difference between people. That's alarming, okay? That's alarming. However, I don't care what piece of paper that you signed. If you are not crystal clear on the rule system that you are stepping into at the point of signing that contract, you as an athlete have made a mistake. Okay, the thought that you can sign a contract and then negotiate the rule set after is complete lunacy. Okay, I know that I've done it on my side, and that's why I've been furious every time people have tried to change it afterwards. And people are pretending like it's not a big deal. It just makes me look at you like you're a complete unprofessional. I don't want to look at people that way who I genuinely respect. And to say that discussions didn't happen, these are outright lies by people that I think are really great people. So I just say, if you're an arm wrestler and you're getting involved in a big match, know what the rules are before, and then don't be a fucking pussy and try and change it afterwards. Okay?
Can I sort of just go across this a little bit, picking up on the same theme? And the question I would ask on this is, what would people deem as the most important aspect for the rule system? We'll just let Rolio in. And by that, I mean, if the arm wrestlers walk away from the event and are satisfied with what they were able to do. Rolly?
Hey, guys, what's up?
With
Right.
with
Anakin.
Yeah, we're just we're just talking about the rules, mate. It's gone off this week. He's just getting his lightsaber or something. Oh no, is it the hoodie?
Well,
Go on, son.
Darkside is strong. It's gonna take you, Devon, as well.
There we go.
There you
Okay,
go.
at least you're on the right team. At
Wait a
least
minute.
you're on the right team.
Yeah, but not the right side. So
That's the problem. Problem.
If
not the problem.
athletes walk away from the event and they're happy with everything they've been allowed to do, they feel like they got the opportunity to wrestle as hard as they possibly could, as cleanly as they could, where does that rank? If the people that are watching the event, so the general viewer, casual viewer of the sport of arm wrestling, feels like they got to see a genuine outcome, where does that rank? You get where I'm going.
There's three groups. We have to look at athlete satisfaction, we have to look at fan satisfaction, we have to look at promoters satisfaction. There's three groups that we're serving, and the promoters and the fans, it's very close. So as athletes, we need to be happy. We need to have the satisfaction of having a clear winner and a loser. And the more you can walk away and know that there was a winner and a loser, the better. As promoters, we need to have a system that financially makes sense and that doesn't lead to all sorts of stress in their lives. Fans need to have a product that they can latch onto, love, continue to fuel the whole thing that we're building. You know, what we saw yesterday with Matt and Bresnan, you know, two super elite athletes, the pinnacles of our sport. Love both these guys. I am sure that the athletes did not walk away happy. Maybe Tim didn't. Maybe Tim did. I'm not sure. I know, speaking with Matt, he was left with a very sour taste in his mouth. Yeah. Was the promoter happy? I don't know. I mean, how many people watch? Well, I think that the promoter really fucked up and made it really hard to buy the pay-per-view. But anyways, different story. Were the fans happy? I don't think so. I'm left with just wanting to watch a rematch. I'm not happy about the match. It won't be a match that I watch over and over. When people come over and they want to know about arm wrestling, I'm certainly not showing them that match.
Absolutely.
And I love those guys, and that very well could have been a match that I would have shown them.
Well, ironically, it was just about to turn on its head, I feel. I think it was one of those matches where Tim had got off to a great start doing what Tim does. He could stop it in the center. He'd applied that pronation, pulling off his back. His hand and wrist was solid. Matt's low hand wasn't working against it, and he got the early results. But there was some fatigue going into that hand and wrist, and I honestly believe that Matt was just about to turn it round, and that could have turned into a barn-burning finish.
We got robbed of an epic.
Possibly, yes. I think possibly, yes. And it's just...
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I gotta go. It's hectic as crazy around here. Hey, for all you guys doing your YouTube shows, and if any one of these freaking liars comes on and starts talking about stuff in contracts, just ask them, did you know the rules before you signed? Just ask them. And if they didn't, be like, why? Are you retarded? Say that. Say, you signed a contract without knowing the rules. Are you retarded?
I am going to try and get the perspective of most of the people that have been in there and just get their understanding of it. I mean, I'm sure that contracts differed, but I would like to get
either way, differ or not, discussions were had. Anyways, love you guys. Y'all are the best.
Cheers, Devon. Just knock over a couple of super chats before we pick up that chat again, because I really want to get your insight on that, guys. So, Fat Legless Bird, mate, thank you very much for your super chat. He's put, Neil, got the handle. We are Sabin Pro Nation brothers now. I love and hate it as well. Big love to the crew. Ray, have you tried that Sabin Badalscu handle?
Oh,
dude. Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Horrible. Vile. Amazing. Feels sick when I've used it. Everything hurt.
Good.
Oh, God. Yeah. Jujimugu with a super chat. Mate, thank you very much. He's put, is the V in RVJ Vigent or VJJ? That profane basement fairy keeps making excuses. First, he wants Bowen to come to the US. Now he wants Bowen to fly him to Oz and pay him dollars with Brazink treatment. No idea what that's referring to. I haven't seen anything go down on that one this week.
Did he put out another video after yours?
Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah, like half an hour ago.
I missed
it. He put. I mean, Neil, to give you the update. Basically, I asked Rob for what's the indication. Are we pulling at King of the Table 4?
Saw that.
Very respectfully. He respectfully answered and said, "Look, can't happen." So we ended the story. I think
I love how you did it though, Ryan, with the very respectfully but very publicly. You know what I mean?
Well,
you could have gone to it privately and gone, Rob, what's going down? But you smashed it into a YouTube show. So, you know.
All right, fair enough. You're
I mean, I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I know where you're going with it, and I know why. That's what you do for a living. But you did do that, knowing that he had
I genuinely I'm happy it's ended the way it has in terms of respecting each other, and I'd happily turn up to his invite was turn up in the USA sometime when you're here and we can pull and have a beer. And I'm like, yeah, right, that sounds good. But at least I can now move on in terms of King of the Table opportunities and that, and move away. Like I was given, ultimately, I remember I was given the opportunity to pull someone else at King of the Table 3 or elect Table 4, and I gave up a spot on King of the Table 3 for this to be able to pull Rob at King of the Table 4, and that disappeared. So that was frustrating for me. I could have been on the card at 3, but I chose to go to 4 for Rob. Now Rob's
it's funny how things happen, though, Ryan. Sometimes these things happen for a reason, and all I can say is that this, in my opinion, clears the path beautifully for you to come in, get involved in the 4-way or potentially 8-way of death, involving your old mate Evan the Beer Man Burgoyne.
Yes,
I know Evan. I know Evan wants it.
Telling us that he could absolutely wreck Frodo Hoagland.
Not only that, he said he would take Frodo on one hand and Nonestad on the other and pin them simultaneously.
Look at the smile on Rowley's face. Hey, and Evan, if you are in the chat, check your email, Mother Fluffer, because I've sent you the link. But joking aside,
I think I needed to finish as well with RVJ. I think RVJ was not upset at me. I don't think that last video where he went on a tirade again, it was not at me. It was at the comment section under his video. I think people were hammering him for pulling out, and he was upset at them. So
well,
anyway, I got
why he pulled out. I'm not. It's not for me to talk about that, but I do know why he pulled out, and it was not joke reasons.
Yeah.
So
and that's cool, and I respect that.
So Juji moved into the super chat, and he's put, who will break their losing streak first? Larry or Monster Michael Todd? Is Monster the new Larratt of arm wrestling? Hey, Devon, all the best, champ. Unfortunately, he's gone off, mate, but he will be watching while he's training. He always listens to the fix. But let me say this. Monster Michael Todd actually won his match before that on the left arm.
Yeah.
So he's only had that one, and that was a tough match for him. You know, with all...
Oh, yeah. He was shooting for the stars on that one.
It was a hard match for him. Ryan Espy's
Way punching up, way.
Yeah, Ryan Espy's left hand is really serious.
Mm-hmm.
Really serious.
There's argument like he's the best lefty. Him, Cody Merritt, Devon, you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, Cody Merritt's a beast as well. Absolute bear. So,
I would still pick him.
Cody's serious, no doubt about it. So Ryan's exposed Cable with the super chat. He's scared Devon. This is at Levon Saganashvili. I don't know whether he's scared, but he's put crush him for us all. The big kitten is shaking in his boots. Ryan, you are so lazy. Fix the cable and level up, broski.
I've got an alternate solution for you. I can go to this camera angle if you prefer, and you don't have to look at it.
Tell you what, mate, look at that, eh? The beauty shot.
Oh, hang on. The camera's moved. Someone bumped it. I must have kicked it.
I've got a similar angle on my technical setup right here.
Very beautiful.
Leave it close up.
I have to do extreme close up. Like you can see up your nose. Marcus Thompson, it's my guy right there, coming with a super chat. 101 and still going strong. Send some to James. He's burying new kit. Oh, he's buying new kit. He's actually rented a new lens and he's doing some special shots.
Nice.
You should stay up all night for that dare. For what dare? You have stayed up all night, surely. He's not been to bed.
Yeah, well, it was a couple of nights ago. Marcus said to me he'd drop a €100 super chat on my channel if I stayed up all night, and I bailed. I couldn't do it, but it turns out I've incidentally done it tonight without even intending to. So I blame the Devon and Levon and the rules debate, and then I blame John Brzenk for messaging me and saying I was completely wrong. So I went live with him, and then all of a sudden it was fixed time. So I'm a bit crazy right now. I feel a bit delirious, but so bad.
Juji Mugu's having a right evening of it tonight. He's put kudos to Uncle John and Bowen's awesome live streams earlier today. Good setup to the topics on today's fix. Now you went on with John, didn't you, Ryan?
Yeah. I just discussed the rules because John was very clear that he doesn't think the rules should be changed in any way, shape, or form. So I was like, we were starting to have an argument via text message, and I'm like, hang on, John, we can't do this. We have to let the world see this because it's no one respects anyone's opinion more than John's. So we want to hear it. So yeah, I had a chat with John about how he sees the rules. Should they change? Should we accommodate fans? Should we just make fans adjust to what our sport is and just present it better? All those sorts of topics we dived into.
Hey guys, I wanted to ask you one thing, because ever since all this debate about the rules and everything else, I start like people are like, oh, this will destroy King of the Table, or whatever nonsense they're talking. And then I remember, like, for the first one, we had a set grip every time. Like, I remember I was taking, like, put your elbows down, we align, close the thumbs, and they all the time. I was like, why did they lose it? Because Devon was there. Devon was arm wrestling without the strap. Devon was winning without the strap.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much, and I think that's way better, way more efficient. I cannot understand where did they lose it, because for the first one, every time we step, it was kind of WL, elbow, thumb, close the fingers, and I was thinking I will get the strap, but because you really cannot move, you're gonna get fouled out. Like, what you gonna do? So I couldn't get a strap there. I was like, okay, I have to slip. And then they went, I think on the second one, they start doing all that. I'm like, why? They just should have gone back to that grip. It would way more efficient, way more faster, and gets rid of most problems, because pretty much you're already in a ref's grip, maybe a little loose one, but ref's grip, because ref is telling to close the thumbs and close the arms. And I thought, like, no one noticed this? Am I the only one who noticed this?
I've got a weird opinion in quite a few of the things which relate to professional arm wrestling, super match, televised arm wrestling, stuff that goes live stream, and everything of that ilk. And it's that I think it's a very different set of criteria than normal arm wrestling in every respect. Number one, people like the build-up, or certainly a lot of the fans like to hear what's going on with the arm wrestlers. They like to hear the build-up, the back and forth at the table. So in some respects, I feel like that should help to depressurize the refs a little bit. They don't need to be as agitated and uptight and strict and closing the guys down. They can engage with them a little bit, and I think that often yields better results. And ultimately, the guys that are in the spotlight on supermatch arm wrestling like that, that's what everybody's come to see. They want to hear more from them. They want there to be some back and forth. They want there to be some engagement. They don't want to see the match ended prematurely or decided by referees. So anything that assists the referee in making the right call, I think is a good thing. And hearing the guys out a little bit is good. There isn't the time pressure that you would ordinarily get. I mean, the whole, do we go to straps in 60 seconds? Do we go to straps in 30 seconds? It's such a long setup. Not really. If there's some decent banter going back and forwards, 30 seconds isn't a long time. 60 seconds is a long time. 5 minutes is. But there's a big difference there. And I think in some respects, if you've got the guys mic'd up and you can hear what they're saying, then it's kind of adds to the whole thing. People want to hear that from the guys. They want to know what's going on up there. What they definitely don't want is a situation like we had last night with Matt, where 2 minuscule fouls are called and it effectively writes up what otherwise could have been a great match. That's the worst outcome possible. It really is. Unless I'm in the minority camp, I was gutted, absolutely gutted by that result. I thought it was sickening. For everybody.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it on Brad Cook's 217, and I was just literally stunned, considering that Brad Cook's the most talented individual match videographer in the sport. He made it look good, and I'm sure he cut out all the crap too that went on. And even with all of Brad Cook's magic, the first 3.5 minutes was still just premature warnings and fouls in the ref script and micro elbow fouls, endings and stuff. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. And I'm thinking, this is a pay-per-view event. If this is anyone's first impression of the sport, they've left. They're never coming back.
I agree.
I did watch it live. And I sat right here and I said the F word a whole bunch of times because it was that frustrating. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it from 2 matches before that was exactly how the match was going to end and that we'd all leave with a bad taste in our mouth. And what do you know? We did. So, Coach Ray, thank you for instigating these rules, which have now carried over in reverse time travel. I blame you.
Thank you.
I haven't been on armwrestlingforums.com and seen if it kicked off on there and what people thought about it on there, really. I don't know what the situation is. I haven't been on and checked what people's general opinion. I know there's a massive disparity across the opinions of people that are arm wrestlers and the opinions of people that are just fans. And it really does sort of divide the clans as such. You've got guys that want to see those extremely strict rules. You've got guys that want to see Wild Wild West, and you've got a few that are in between. Now, I'm quite happy for there to be a solution for each and every one of those. For the people who like to watch PAL, watch PAL. If they want to watch that kind of super tight rules, yeah, go and watch that. But I can't help but think that anybody in the right mind that watched that last night would have been thinking, Jesus Christ, did that really change the outcome of a match? Some of those fouls they were microscopic, tiny ass nothings that the ref, unless he's right on top of it like that, he's not even going to notice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, lucky enough, it was so difficult to get in and actually order the pay-per-view, and people were so apprehensive to do it. I don't think a lot of people actually saw it. So, there's that.
Yeah, I don't know whether Evan Burgoyne was joking, but he was in the chat last night. We were watching that thing, and Evan was saying that there was more people watching yourself and Jake than was actually watching the thing live, which is kind of a shame in some respects, but they may be.
Of course, we want people to watch it, and obviously our thing is free. But I mean, it was 650 people to like 180 or something like that.
Yeah. Out of everybody on here, who ordered it?
I ordered it the day after when I woke up, and then then it wasn't on there. I paid the $10, and then it's not on their website. So that was a problem. But I then wait, and luckily Brad Cook put it out on 217 for me to watch not long after.
Yeah, and I watched that little highlight clip that he did myself earlier on, and that just highlighted it more to me. What an absolute shit show it was, really. But anyway, Mason's come in with a super chat, and he's put, not sure why anyone isn't talking about this. The biggest problem right now isn't rules. Oh, it's the estrogen levels of RBJ. Mate, there are more to that than you think. Yeah, it's not necessarily as straightforward as you think. Sap the Bee, and I think Sap probably a little gutted that he didn't manage to get this straight into Devon, but Devon will be listening, as I say. I know he's training and he will be listening in. Sap the Bee, who is a dedicated follower and lover of Devon, has put, what a princess. Won't even show up without manipulating the rules and the contracts. I wouldn't be surprised if Devon sneaked in that clause underhandedly. I trust John and Levan over Devon any day. Really?
Ooh.
Mates.
Didn't John lose him a whole bunch of money?
Way. He is the biggest fan of John Brzenk of all time. I think he is the #1 fan of John. Probably Sap the Bee, I think. Bought him his training equipment. So, yeah, that's a dedicated follower of the Perfect Storm. So we got NWUK1 with a super chat. Gents, I reckon I'm about a year fan of arm wrestling, so my knowledge is limited. But that Matt Tim match ending was terrible. Here we go. It's pretty much vindicated me to Devon's claims about spectator-friendly rules. Well, yeah, I think there's middle ground. I think Devon's definitely very tuned in to the fact that if you don't appeal to the wider audience of arm wrestling, you lose it. Ray, as the voice of reason, the voice of arm wrestling, where do you stand on the whole rules for super matches thing?
Oh, everyone knows shoot off rules. That's what I'm all about, Microscope. And technically, two atoms never touch, so you get a foul just by going on table.
It was just a foul.
Automatically, you get a foul. Who puts their elbow down last gets a foul. So, of course,
you hate micro fouls, Ryan. We know you do from your video that you put out today. John, what's your feelings?
Yeah, I'm not for the way the rules are implemented in what we saw yesterday, but I'm also not interested in the other side of that. I really want something that gets rid of the really extraneous stuff. For example, the foul in losing position being a loss of the match. I think that is a massive, completely unnecessary rule. Get it out of here.
Total ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is really, really ridiculous. I went on about that last night on on Jake's show with yourself. I just think it's utterly nonsensical that we've already solved that problem and then we find a way of recreating it again.
Sure.
So that we can talk about it on shows like this for ages. Just really pisses me off. And last night I was gutted. I was really on a downer about it. I tried to pick myself up through today, but it really did piss me off last night. I was grated, annoyed me beyond belief. Henry Bowers Law's come in with a interesting super chat where he's put Pickup versus Ford coming to Arm Wars late 2022. But what I can say, Henry, is that word on the grapevine is that Ryan Bowen might have been offered the match with Alan Ford. Is this true? Is there any substance?
Yeah, absolutely. Alan Ford and I are talking almost daily at the moment about him coming down to Australia. So that may well be the case.
Oof.
Absolutely.
So you've got Bojidar next, and then Alan.
Well, no, Bojidar's been knocked back for visas on 2 attempts getting into Australia, so that's on ice.
Did you not pull him on Engin's gig?
Well, look, I've been offered a lot of different things. I've been offered to pull Engin at Engin's gig. I've got to speak to Core Sports and King of the Table. I'd love to pull Bojidar there. I've got Evan Burgoyne who wants me to pull me in Arm Wars. and
go.
RVJ wants to pull me in his garage. Yeah, so.
Ray,
I got offers everywhere. And Ray and I have been offered a match in India.
Get out of Dodge. You're going to go to India to pull goalie? The front
You never know.
We're waiting on details. We're waiting on.
There are offers. We got to ask Leonard Harkless for the details.
Yeah. Absolutely unbelievable. Ryan's exposed cables on your ass here. Ryan, he's put, after that camera angle, Ryan is now prohibited from going within 100 foot of a school. That was a horrific experience. So much paler, Mike so much bigger. Oh, there it is again. Fit. Right.
That's a meme shot right there, by the way.
Yeah. V Poge with the super chat. He's put, if Canada versus USA event was pulled in Arm Wars, Mass would have won. It was ridiculous. Ryan showed his power and speed by dominating MMT. Question, do any of you guys know how Richard Lupkus is doing? Actually, I don't know where Richard's health at right now. I heard that he was very sick. I heard that he was recovering, but I haven't been in touch. I need to write to Richard and and Shirley and find out where he's at. But I'm sure Richard will not be the same Richard that we've seen for a long period of time. I understand he was pretty sick after the end of 2022. David with a super chat. King of the Table 1 was perfect. WL setup and grip from the start. I mean, I think King of the Table were mostly using the WL rules, as I understood it in King of the Table 1.
Yes.
Pretty much based on WL rules.
Yeah.
Ray, was there
They
any
had the
sort of
WL
real,
banner up in their poster.
Yeah.
what were the real differences to WL rules in the first King of the Table? Can you remember?
Compared to what?
WL.
Oh,
Was there any big differences or not?
I don't think any. Maybe 3-foul system, same as WL. Pretty much everything, I think. Pretty much.
About the no chalk rule.
Yeah, they had that.
Just for Ray, that one.
That was just for Ray. Yeah.
That's only for Ray.
Yeah, and I think those rules were way better. I think the setup and the grip, no one had any problems. You know, I just want to, like, when we talk about fouls and everyone like fouling out, you look at this match, it's terrible. You look at Bresnan versus Mask, terrible. But, you know, why did Matt Mask foul out? Because he was risking, you know, he was trying to beat, you know, his opponent. So it always comes down to, you know, if one guy is risking to do something pretty much outside the rules, you should be punished by that. You know, if you risk it and you get caught. If you don't get caught, that's okay. So you always need to look at the balance. Like, I hated that match. I think like 100%, if they were running foul rules, we would see maybe round number 7. It would be awesome.
Yeah. It had it all over it, didn't it? He was coming back. It was a bit like if Sarah and Gabby had run for another 3 rounds.
Yes,
you know,
because Sarah had three attempts. And she was hitting hook, and then top roll, and boom, found the key. So it's always, you know, what do you want out of athletes? You want them to try, or you want them to get buried? Because if Matt Mask, like, if he wouldn't have those restarts, maybe Bresnan's hand wouldn't get that pumped, and he would just, because he was looking so dominant on the first 2. That maybe there was no need. But if you look how many restarts there were, you know, it will wear and tear on your hand for sure. So I think when we look at the rules, we need to figure out, like, why do athletes make those fouls? And my suggestion, and it's, I don't know, like last year I figured this out. How about if they get paid for it? Like, if you foul out, you don't get paid for that round. So they take it out of your cut. Because if you're willing to risk it, you should be willing to lose it as well. And then you will, because every time we see a winner, there's one guy who didn't foul out.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's you know, we will never get rid of the fouls. And
I think we can get rid of it in a sense. I know, Ray, you've experienced these Travis Bajan style starts. Have you ever had Travis himself referee you, Ray?
No, Travis wasn't there.
Okay. Well, Travis is hands down my favorite ref that I've experienced. And he's I saw really old footage today of John Brzenk pulling against, I think it was Tim Bresnan. And Travis was refereeing, and he had the exact same style back then as he does now. He comes up, he grabs the wrist, he finds center table, he sets webbing. He then lets go and stands back. And the fact that he stands back prevents everyone from moving, because it's very clear to the athletes, shit, Travis is watching to see if anyone's going to move. He then comes back, places his hands in the exact same place to ensure that no one bends their wrist prior to the go. And he just says to them, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. It's the cleanest, most no fuss start I've ever experienced. You don't get people moving early. You don't get people looking for advantages anywhere near as much. And it just it just flows. I love Travis's starts. I think they're the best starts in arm wrestling.
Let me ask you a question on this. Oh, go on, John.
No, that's all I wanted to say was okay.
I know it's a long pause.
I was like,
I don't particularly care about it. I don't really like. I really like getting a grip. That's part of what I enjoy is getting a grip, and I think there's something to be said about that fight for the grip. Now, what happens after 30 seconds? Then we can go to the set grip. Then, like I'm fine with that, but I want that 30, 60 seconds because that's where I can get my camera time in, right?
Yeah. And that is an enjoyable part as a fan to watch that. The two guys fighting for that. As Neil, you said earlier, that we want that in super matches.
Particularly if
we get them arguing with each other, all that sort of stuff. But then, after a minute, go to the Travis set grip, then go to, as long as you keep your elbow on the pad, all slips go to straps, doesn't matter. Calling that a loss is terrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you can keep your elbow on the pad and get away, you deserve the strap.
Yeah.
Under all circumstances.
You've got to earn the strap, but if you slip without fouling, everything goes to a strap. None of this losing position bullshit. Losing position.
Terrible.
The same people that came up with the losing position nonsense are remember the other thing that they used to do in arm wrestling matches, a number of referees still do, right, where they overpronate both men. So you're like friggin' beyond belief straight and your hands are facing away. So nobody's got any purchase in the match whatsoever. Some dick came up with that rule as well. Oh, it's overpro. And I've seen so many guys, never seen anybody happy. It doesn't matter what style they are. Everybody's going, oh, Jesus, that feels terrible. What the fuck are you doing? And
no one's holding on at all then. Yeah.
That is horrific when that happens. Now, the point I was going to ask you is, if you're in a situation where one of those matches is happening and it's as intense as it is and it's for money and these guys are really giving it all, and infringements happen that are so tiny that neither arm wrestler reacts to it at all, doesn't have any idea that anything went down, don't feel like they were cheated, no problem whatsoever, why the hell should we all be that bothered? Somebody just answer me that question.
Can you say the question one more time?
So if two arm wrestlers are competing, they pull a match and there's some tiny ass micro foul taking place that the referee immediately jumps on, but the guy who is being fouled upon is not interested in that, doesn't like that, doesn't feel pissed off about that, didn't know that it had happened at all. Why is everybody losing the shit over that? Why is everybody like, oh my God, it's such a big deal. You need to call these tiny ass fouls that have no effect on the match whatsoever. You know,
what do they call that? Munchausen by proxy? Is that what's going on there?
And it just, if you watch the slips last night with Matt and the elbow fouls with Matt and Tim last night, where Matt went off and went, for fuck's sake, my elbow definitely didn't come up. I was dug on my elbow. You know, if you look at Tim did not think that. Tim was shocked as shit. When that came up, he wasn't sure whether he'd fouled, Matt had fouled. If you look at him, he's like, foul? Who? He had no idea that there was any foul whatsoever. Didn't feel anything, have any idea that a foul had been committed, wasn't sure that he'd fouled or the other guy had fouled. And everybody's, the people that are on that, let's call the micro foul side of the equation, all losing the shit over it. Why? It's my question to him. Why are you so upset about that? If the dude who's actually arm wrestling isn't, Why? You...
I've had a conversation with Zil Fadley, who's the head referee for the PAL, and he has said to me that it's as the master referee, head referee for PAL, he is often having to coach the junior referees to not call those things. And he says junior referees often are looking for absolutely, like they see it as a proud moment when they find the smallest of elbow fouls. It's almost like a badge, like, yeah, I got that one. And Zil's had to remind these people, no, we're not looking to, if it's an incidental micro foul that has no play on the arm wrestle, do not call it. And Zil himself said, I've let so many of those go. And I think that is the correct way to arm wrestle, to referee arm wrestling matches, because no one wants to see. And as you said, it's ridiculous to have the micro foul or the referee take the front and center position and ruin the arm wrestle. We all know it. We all hate it. So
yeah,
just a ramification.
It's up to promoter. If promoter says like buff rules super strict, and then they see you giving something away, you might never referee there again. So it's always comes down to promoter, because you can, like, Engen did a good job. He said like in last East versus West, he's like, let a micro foul, but if it's too much, then stop. It up to you, And then
he was using the referee's experience.
Yeah,
like we do in Arm Wars, basically. So you'd say, okay, if it's something that's a game changer, you're utilizing a referee with exceptional levels of experience who should be arm wrestling. If you're an arm wrestling referee at this level, you should really know what you're doing. You should have an extensive experience, and you should understand whether or not. Now, here's the other thing, right? When you've got these two guys that are in focus at the degree they are, if there's some game-changing infringement that the arm wrestler feels, okay, that was really significant, why not just check their goddamn cameras after the fact?
All of it comes down. I think back to some of my favorite moments in arm wrestling that I've watched, and I think of Devon Larratt saying to the referee, just let it go, when his opponent has fouled. And he's like, no, don't stop this. I want to finish this. Or he's in the setup and his opponent's carving in early and he says, just let him have it. I just say go. That drama is more exciting for me as an arm wrestling fan than anything else. I'd like to see that compared to that weaker opponent being fouled out. I think I'm definitely in the camp of entertainment needs to have more emphasis in the rule sets. I don't believe that arm wrestling can reach the same height amongst fans in the sport and entertainment if we stick to the rigid rules. We can improve the rigid rules presentation, but it will never reach the lofty heights of more entertainment emphasis.
Yeah, I think rigid rules are good for the sport, because when you want to have a clear winner and clear loser, you need rules, you need everything to be in check. This is why in both worlds, whenever there's something that referees were not 100% sure about, they will look at videotapes and all those things. But for entertainment, for growing the fan base like we have, we need Arm Wars rules, something like that. Like Lee Weber and Sander Shed started the 5th round in a hook. They just, both of them carved in like this, and they just said, let's go. And it was awesome.
Andres walked up to the table before the match and said, you want to go in the hook? Yeah. So guys, that's what we want to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Evan Burgoyne and I did that in round 5 of our super match too. And that made the drama awesome. We just, let it flow. Let it flow.
So, guys, a question for you. So, in the live streams I've been on since the match last night, a lot of people are saying we need a unified rule system. That's the only way we're going to grow. We have to get everything together. 1, is that a good idea? 2, is it possible? And if it was possible, what would it take?
I don't think it is possible, mate. Just because nobody can agree on a goddamn thing.
Yeah, no way.
The
politics.
Just no chance. I mean, so to me, sat where I'm sat, it seems an easy one. I feel like we've encapsulated it within Arm Wars to a pretty high degree. I really do. And what I'm taking that on is the fact that we've got a situation where the arm wrestlers, if you look at Iron House, where, my God, there was ridiculous intensity, ridiculous passion, ridiculous drama. I don't know of any wrestler that left that house unhappy with how it went down, or feels like they got cheated, feels like they did. Do you guys, maybe they didn't tell me. Do you guys know of anyone that wasn't happy?
No.
Rules, it's what you're going for to a degree. That's what you're going for. I mean, an interesting point that happened the other day on the most recent Arm Wars film that we've just put out, right? And it really resonated with me because I love Chef Shedis. I think he's ace, right? And he's a very matter-of-fact lad, and he just says, it's interesting because the second time we went in a hook, we went in on my terms. I went in the hook. I put him there. We went in there. I wanted it. And actually, I ended up losing that match. But it was the most fun I had all weekend. I absolutely loved it. It was a real battle, back and forth. The crowd went crazy. It was excellent. That's the essence of it for me. That's what you got to try and, for all the guys that are commenting on things that aren't arm wrestlers, that's something I think you need to understand about most of the guys that are. That's where they come alive. That battle, win, lose, or draw, is where they come alive. That's where you feel. That's where you get what you're chasing. And I'm not saying that the result doesn't matter. Of course it matters. But when you don't experience that sensation, that sucks. If that's taken away from you, it really sucks.
Yes.
Where it could have been a good, but it was taken away.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. And then, hey, what the? It was just getting good. And you were in that zone. That's where you want to be. That's what we're chasing. Everybody's chasing that. Ideally, you win it. Maybe you lose it, but that's it.
Devon touched on it before he went. In his little 10 minutes, he said, if you statistically look at all of the organizations that have presented arm wrestling, which ones have the most runs on the board with success in respect to growing the sport and the fans? It's the WAL. Like it or not, it's the WAL. They have grown the sport in the modern times more than any other organization. And they've done so because they entertain well. They allowed those battles to come to life. They used a rule set and a method of starting matches that facilitated as many battles as possible.
So we've had a lot of response to the King of the Table 1 thing that Ray threw up there earlier on. David's come in with a super chat and just put, King of the Table 1 was perfect. Agree with Ray. WL set up from the start. And as we know, that was pretty much, there may have been some slight nuance that was different for WL, but it's pretty much that. Darko, Coach Ray, bring back the rules of King of the Table 1 petition. Were you involved in the discussion of that at all, Ray, when they first were doing that? Were you sort of consulted on it or not?
No, they did everything. I got there, everything was already set up. Okay. People think, like, the funny thing is people will give me credit for things that I haven't done, but they will not give me the credit for the things that I have done. Mm-hmm. So,
Fair enough. NWUK1, thank you for your super chat, mate. No, nothing on there, but thank you very much anyway. And Henry Bowerslaw, he agree with Ray, King of the Table 1 had great flow. So a lot of love for that. And, it's coming full circle, really, into what we're saying with the entertainment, or the more entertainment-based rules seem to be popular with a lot of the people that are commenting tonight. White Wolf, thanks for your super chat. He's put, best way to watch these pay-per-views is to order them and have John and Jake commentating simultaneously, unless Neil is doing the live. But even they couldn't make up for that debacle we saw yesterday.
I yelled a lot. I even called Jake a pussy at one point just to liven things up a bit.
Yeah, you were pissed off. He was as well. I mean, it's just devastating. It was just absolutely sick. D Metz with a super chat. He's put, being only a fan, how much padding on a standard pad? If you have 1 to 2 centimeters of padding, then it's not a microfoul if you come off, correct? Well, put it this way. I have sat through hour upon hour upon hour of people saying that if you had a softer consistency on the pad, that would resolve the situation. And that's great for someone who digs deep into a hook, but it's not good for the top rollers. So you end up with discussion and argument around what's the right format and what's the right consistency of pad. And this is why I was saying in answer to John's question earlier on, very, very difficult to arrive at any universally accepted rule system. And I think it always will be. If Pradeep was on here now, he's a big fan of the rigid rules, loves it. You know, so different tricks for different. You know what I mean? What it's all about. Ricky Walker with a super chat. Which is your favorite, arm wrestling or strongman? Possibly a strongman fix with Loz in the future. Yeah, up for that, mate. I love both sports. If I had to choose which is my favorite, arm wrestling is my favorite. It's in my DNA. It's what I do. So, but I'm a massive fan of strongman. Been watching strongman since before I was watching arm wrestling.
Wow.
NWUK1, I've been watching the Arm Wars videos and don't remember seeing a round that ends on fouls. Surely that's the way to go rule-wise. Neil, can you confirm? No, I don't believe we have a round that ends on fouls. One of the things that is a massive weapon for what we do with Arm Wars, and the lads will attest to this because they've been involved in the shows, if you feel genuinely aggrieved at something, if you feel like something went against you, you were cheated out of something, there was a major issue with it, we can go to the video. We can go to the video review and check that out just to make sure that everybody got a fair crack of the whip. Now, we have done that. I'm trying to think exactly how many times. We did it at Reality Check twice, didn't we?
Who?
We did it with Stoica, Bogdan and Froda.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that one. Yeah.
And there was another one as well. I'm trying to think who.
I was just confirming Jordan Davis won that, didn't he? That whole event? Yeah, Jordan Davis?
Yeah.
Can't possibly comment on that, but I'll tell you what, on the 22nd of April, you're going to get to see the very first Iron House. And guess who's in it, right?
It better be Jordan. It better be Jordan.
Amazingly, it's Jordan Davis.
Nice.
Yeah. What was the date?
22nd, that Jordan Davis will start the Iron House broadcast. He will be in the first show.
22nd of this month?
22nd of April. You're waiting a couple of weeks and Iron House
fantastic.
is
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. I can't believe I'm the only one on this damn show that doesn't know the result.
You could have been there, son. You could have been there, but Australia was locked up. You could have been there. Next one, Evan Burgoyne and yourself. Hey, Battleground of Death.
That does suit the Arm Wars scene. I do agree with that.
You absolutely love it. Sean Brophy, love you. Sean Brophy back in the super chat. What a guy this is. Absolute supporter of the sport, supporter of the channel and everywhere else. This guy's awesome. But great job, guys. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate your super chat, mate. The thing is with the Arm Wars format, I actually think that there'd be a ridiculous amount of time in the setups, but for all the right reasons. With someone like you and Evan, I think it'd kick off from the moment you arrived on stage. I really do.
Oh, honestly, I can feel the excitement just imagining what it would be like. The amount of shit we'd give each other would be phenomenal. It would be so much fun.
But that would make the show in many ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's gonna. If the guys are mic'd up, the referees aren't feeling the pressure to immediately jump on the thing and run it through, which has always been a problem for main draw tournaments because everybody wants to get home at a reasonable hour. But when you've got a 2 or 3 hour show where it's super matches, everybody's come to watch that. We've watched months, weeks and months, maybe even a year of build up for some of these things. I mean, when did we find out about Devon and Levant? It'll be not far off a year, won't it, when that comes up? They'll have gone about 7-8 months, something like that. Probably. So the amount of build-up that you've had, everybody's bought into all these twists, turns, stories, back and forth, all the bullshit that goes on building it up. If it was then to end on fouls, I would literally throw up. I want to see battle.
Someone get in.
I've got to see battles. Don't tell me that Devon and Levant want that not to be a screamer. Yeah, they do.
Of course.
Exactly.
Even if it's a Mike Tyson and someone just gets run over. But that's fine too. But not on fouls. Fouls is not acceptable. That.
I want if look, Levant's the heavy favorite. Levan needs to be prepared to tell the referee, just let him have it, say go. I want to hear those words from Levan if he's dominant. Let Devon have anything he wants, just say go. That's better than Devon getting fouled and losing.
I could definitely see a situation where there was a strength gap. I think that is a genuine possibility. And if it went, like I say, if it's like a Mike Tyson fight when you used to get up at 3 a.m. and then you'd be back in bed by 5 past, so be it. That's okay as well. And everybody would accept it. I think Devon would accept it. I think all the Devon fans would accept it. If you beat, you beat. But what nobody would want is for that to end on fouls. It would suck. So we need to have a real think before that goes down and make sure that we see arm wrestling, not fouls. Proven astrology. I like this point. Quite interesting. Here we go again. Thanks for your super chat, first of all, mate. And he's put, how often are micro fouls missed calls are called inconsistently? Now think about this. He's put, in my opinion, whatever the rules are, they need to be followed. But if they can't be followed consistently, they should be changed. So if you think about that, how often are the micro fouls miscalled or called inconsistently?
Well, you can't see them anyways, so how we'll never know.
Well, I think that's a really pertinent point, John, because in some instances, when you are looking at, let's say, PAL, all right, great organization, done some of the most famous matches in history, but you would have a situation where they would break down the screen to show incremental shots of the action, and then the referees will be checking if there had been an infringement. And sometimes you'd have both. If you can look back, both arm wrestlers would go to the edge of the stage and be looking down at the refs while they check that. And it used to drive me nuts. Because if you'd seen a great match and none of the arm wrestlers had the slightest inkling that a foul had been committed, what was the purpose of that exercise? Really, what the is that about? Craziness. Absolutely nuts. That's what we got to watch for. Anyway, I think we've probably talked it to death, but it pissed me off last night. It really, really pissed me off. Rightly or wrongly, but it got on my wick. So, in conclusion, is the responsibility with the arm wrestler or is it with the promoter?
Promoter.
Well, promoter.
The responsibility to what?
Deliver good arm wrestling matches, make the rules and leave it at that. I mean, where I'm going with this, John, is a lot of people out there have been messaging me. I've received in the last 2 days probably 50 to 60 messages.
2 messages.
I bet I've had 60 messages, and probably 70% of them have been for the entertainment rule, but a good few haven't. A good few have been, Neil, I don't agree with you. You want
You're a fat
to be WWE. Well, they're saying you want it to be WWE or you want it to be ruleless, which isn't the case. It's just not the case at all. Now, what I would say is that those people have pretty consistently said that the foul issue lies with the arm wrestler because they're not trying hard enough or training enough to keep their elbow down. And that goes back to what Ray was saying earlier on. Sometimes it's not intentional. It's that they are scratching with every fiber of their being to pin the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them go to war. Give the battlefield to the pullers. Let them go to war. If you're not going to give them a correct battlefield, nobody's going to want to go to war. Everybody's going to pull their punches because they don't want to step on a landmine.
So going along that same line then, John, do you think it's down to arm wrestlers to not pull where they don't agree with the rules in many ways?
Well, I think it's
send the message.
Yeah, it's fair to put it in both people's pocket, right? The promoter, if you want your promotion, if you're trying to get as many eyes as you can, personally, if I was promoting an arm wrestling event that was super matches, I wouldn't be using PAL rules. That's for sure. As a competitor, like what am I gonna if all of a sudden for no particular reason, PAL was like, oh, by the way, Uncle John, come over here and pull this match and we'll give you $5,000. It's going to be under strict PAL rules. I'm probably still going to do it.
Yeah.
If you accept it, that's on you.
Yeah, then it's on me. It's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of making a statement to promoters about how arm wrestlers want the rules to be, how competitors want the rules to be, not arm wrestling fans.
Promoters should look at the audience. They should look at the people they are trying to entertain, trying to sell the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Athletes should, and then they need to figure out the best rules for that. And then athletes can look at the promoters and will this be good fit for me? Because we can talk about, some guys will have war. Some guys just want to win by any means necessary. And there's a big difference. I cannot state this so many times. There are guys that want to win, and there are guys that want to arm wrestle. And, depending on situation, it's going to change. But the terrible things for super matches, guys that want to win, because they just want to win. They will never give them nothing, at all.
That's a really good point, in my opinion.
Really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, right? And that is a very true point.
Dark side. Come to the dark side.
And you said earlier on, mate, that people don't give you credit for the things you do. Well, I think you'll find, Jano's a song in that, never mind. Me and John there just gave you the credit. And we rarely give Ryan any credit.
No one gives Ryan a credit.
I mean, Ryan often deserves credit. I mean, the close-up angle tonight.
3 banks called and they said, no credit, Ryan.
Credit worthy. Yeah. He's not allowed it. Groom, thanks for your super chat, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying the show, brother. Thank you very much.
I'm just tired.
Credit for Coach Ray.
I'm struggling to listen. I'm phasing in and out.
Mate, I can't believe you're eating.
I don't know what you were talking about last time.
Eat your biscuit. Eat your biscuit.
We'll jump off here in a minute anyway and let you get some sleep, because we can't talk anymore about rules. It's getting on the wall.
Yeah.
Really is. Ryan's exposed cable. He's put what pad consistency? Just ask Travis, Neil. Yeah, mate. I know Travis has had a lot of input in pads over the years, but I'm absolutely aware of that. Devon's classy finger. Don't forget to like and live 600. Are they? Have we got 600 watching? Holy shit. Hello to everybody watching the fix tonight, guys. God, I can't believe we're talking about something as boring as rules on a night we got 600 people. Only 200 likes. Keep up the good work. Thanks, mate. Much appreciate your super chat. And I am so sorry to keep bringing that up, but it can drive me nuts. GKI. Strict rules stops cheating. I'm not sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not sure it does. I really just disagree with that entirely, mate. Who is weaker if he will foul out? Better watch matches on fouls than Clown Fiesta, where fair and stronger athletes loses. Yeah, it's not that simple. It is
a Clown Fiesta sounds awesome. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Fiesta?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily relating to arm wrestling in any way, but just
tacos and balloons.
Fiesta?
I love it.
Amazing.
Painted faces everywhere. The big sneakers or whatever.
Yeah. The clown shoes.
Clown shoes. Yeah.
So pathetic and lame PAL with a super chat.
Oh my God.
Fire. Right. He's put, correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard Devon tell the ref to let fouls go in his matches before. I've heard a number of guys do that. A number of guys have said that. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Number of arm wrestlers do that because they go to arm wrestle. That's what the arm wrestler does. They show up to arm wrestle.
I remind Evan, I said that to Evan in round 5. I said, just let him have it. Say go.
Oh.
So remember, Evan. Just
you
remember, it's coming again.
He's not in the chat. Look, we're going to jump off here in a minute, guys, so don't send any more super chats, please. But amazing weekend of arm wrestling, potentially robbed because of rule fiasco. It'll die away, it'll come back. It'll die away, it'll come back. For all the people that message this week about the Arm Wars rules and so on, and will I be changing? Will be going to straight straps? And will be look.
No,
we have. I just wanted to say
never.
No, we're not going to change the rules. In answer to that, and I had a lot of questions on that exact thing. There won't be any changes whatsoever to Arm Wars rules. And for clarity, in Arm Wars, the athletes, the arm wrestler, can nominate straps if both lads agree. Already, right now. So, the start of the match, if the guys don't nominate straps, or if one guy doesn't want to nominate straps, they have the opportunity to arm wrestle without the strap. So the strap should be earned and must be earned. If both guys know that they're going to slip, say you've got two fast top rollers and they don't really want to spend time hanging on to each other, and they come up and say, you want to go to straps, they can nominate the strap. That's how it works in Arm Wars. So hopefully that clarifies. I'm not going to write back to the people that have emailed me on that, because we had a lot of emails with that same exact question after the whole Devon thing. That is the rule now. You can nominate straps. All foul, all slips go to strap, and you can nominate strap. That's the situation.
I don't think you can hear anywhere when you go on table and both guys says, please, we want to pull in strap, and the ref's going to say, no, slip first.
Ordinarily, that's the case, you know. Ordinarily, that's the case. Most referees in the right mind, if both guys want to go in straps, they're going to give it them. And if not, yeah, they need to give their head a wobble. But that is a published rule now within Arm Wars, so you're quite within your rights to ask for that. And we've seen it happen a number of times. You'll see it in the Iron House. We saw it at Reality Check, and you'll see it in the archive as well. Anything we've missed? I don't think we've missed any super chats. I want to say a massive thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight, guys. I want to say a massive thanks for the show sponsors, armwrestlingforums.com. If you want to keep the chat going, and get over to armwrestlingforums.com, and you can have your say. Put this across, hear from other guys that are perhaps more experienced in the sport. The new guys, if you want to understand the ins and outs of this in more detail, by all means, get on there, get over to Arm Wrestling Forums and check it out. I want to say a huge thank you to our constant and amazing sponsor, Western Survivor Beef Jerky. Genuinely, the best beef jerky I've ever tasted in my life. I also want to say the Sabine Badalescu handle will test your faith. Nothing, no sponsorship, nothing of that nature. Just, Jesus Christ, I tried it for the first time, and I can feel my neck. I've pulled things behind my ears. I mean, do you even have a muscle there? Jesus. You can max out on that. It is the most brutal thing I've ever tried. If you've not tried one of those yet, wow. Yeah. Incredibly hard. Is yours the top of the line one, Ryan? Like the highest one?
Mine was the same one that he sent to Devon and to Vitali. So I said, I want the big boy one. I want to feel what I want to know. I want to know what they're training with. So I think I got a heavy one.
Mate, if it's heavier
It's
than
brutal.
the one
I can move it max like 8 centimeters if I'm swinging on it.
Yeah, you've got me beat. Stronger than me, mate. I could move mine 1.5 inches. Maxed out. Pulled it back and then moved to the side.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh, friggin' hell. Amazing bit of kit. Absolutely ridiculous. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to the lads who've helped me out with the show tonight. Uncle John, if you're not subscribed to Uncle John, get over there. Uncle John Arm Wrestling, one of the most active guys in the sport. Get subbed to show this man some love. Does this full time. He's working every day for the sport of arm wrestling. As is pound for pound's own Ryan Blue Bowen. Remember, just had a load more handles arrive, so I'm led on them today. He's going to be needing to do it again because he's been up all night. But if you want to get your equipment, the code Supernatural will get you 15% off all things at pound for pound. So get over there, like, share, subscribe. And the voice of arm wrestling, Rolly Ray Lipins, ladies and gents, who's got a match coming up. I think it's the 23rd of this month. Is it 23rd or 26th, mate?
23rd of April
23rd.
in Tucson, Arizona. Like when we started this live, I just got my visa accepted. So yeah, I'm gonna.
What's
fly.
the rule set? What's the rule set?
Oh, you wank.
I don't know. But I hope it's running fouls. I don't know, and I don't care.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna be the top roll king.
Oh.
Yeah.
I look forward to that match a lot. I'm very interested in you and Adam. Can't wait.
I'm
gonna avenge Uncle John. So
please do.
I've been enjoying all the memes you've been releasing in respect to that. They've been gold.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're pulling both arms as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oof, it's on. What about Corey Miller and the Jedi, mate? How do you see that? Just before we jump off.
Are you asking me? Really?
Yeah. Really? Do you think Corey's got...
I think I'm gonna come back as a top roll king, and Jan is gonna come back as a Flash. So
Look, I've had a couple shows with Corey on Arm Wrestling University where we teach people about arm wrestling stuff, or he does anyways, and I tag along. And Corey's been working hard. Like, he's told me a few things, and he's like, look, I'm going in very ready, looking exactly at what Giannis does. He knows the dangerous spots. So I'm like, it's hard to vote against Giannis. But Corey Miller is this guy that a lot of people don't really know about because he hasn't been online in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But he is a monster.
Oh, strong lad.
Yeah.
Strong lad, no doubt about that. And well-rounded too.
Yes.
Yeah, he is quick. He is well-rounded. Wonder if he's as quick as he used to be, truth be known, but neither is Giannis. But it all comes down to one thing. Can he stop Giannis from taking his hand away? Because the rest don't matter. What's the weight? What's the weight for that match?
I think Corey said that there was no weight, but then there was possibly going to be a weight. But I think it's like between 175 and 80. 175 and 180, something like that.
They had something, because Giannis is below 80. He's never over 80. I think it was 79 kilos or something like that. Or maybe 78, like Zloty Tour classes.
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen Giannis at 80.
No. He's never been 80.
Yeah, he's usually ripped to the bone.
Yeah.
He's always in good shape. He's that guy that's in good shape.
Same weight for 20 years. So.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, literally.
Good on him. Can't knock the lad. Ladies and gentlemen, this was The Fix 101. If it's your first time here on Supernatural Strength, please like, share, and subscribe. We love to have your support. Thank you for everybody that's taken the time to tune in and support the channel. Cobra Rhodes in the chat, evening mother fluffer. And if you're not subscribed to the new Arm Wars channel, please make your way over there. We put a new film out on Friday. Sandrich, the chef, Shedis, the Panzer, in action there, and he pulled Lee Weber, and it's an entertaining match. So get yourselves over there, guys. Check it out. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you very much for taking the time, guys. Until we see you next time, biggity bong, mother fluffers.